What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Devs Like Us. How's everybody doing?
I'm good.
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 So we have a very special episode today. We have a special guest by the name of Raven. I've known Raven for some years. We actually were coworkers at one point in our tech careers, and so very happy to have her on. She is a computer science graduate from ODU and doing big things in the cybersecurity world now. Without further doubt, we'll just go ahead and jump right in. So my first question is, tell us about yourself. What made you get into CS? And all of that good stuff.
Can I say hey to Raven first? Hey, Raven. We appreciate you coming on the show.
He's rude.
Yes. Hi.
Hey, y'all. Hey, nice to meet y'all.
That's how Clarence, just behind the scenes, he get around his friends, and all of a sudden he can't introduce us.
I'm sorry. I'm still a little burned from last week's episode, so I'm on edge. I'm just trying to get my words out before I get trumped over. So.
Golly. Well, thank y'all for having me. So to answer your question, Clarence, I actually went to ODU to be a dentist. I actually wanted to be an orthodontist when I started going to school. I was studying biology and I was like taking the classes and I was like, this is not it, right? But I wanted to do dentistry because, I love seeing people smile. I love the confidence a beautiful smile gives someone. And I wanted to be able to give that to someone. I wanted to be able to make someone that happy, right? That confidence you get from seeing a smile is crazy, right? So I wanted to be able to do that. So that's why I wanted to be a dentist or orthodontist at the time. But I was doing the coursework and I was like, this is not it. Like I quickly found out that this was the worst decision of my 18 years old when you go to school, right?
So worst decision? That's a drastic outcome.
Right.
This is not it.
So all decisions up until 18. That was it.
That was it. So I ended up, I had to take a reset and I really had to think about what I wanted to do and what I like to do. And I kind of just fell back on what I enjoyed, right? So my mom ran her own business, right? So she had her own computer, right? So she had a Windows 98 computer, right? Gateway, the old white block joints we don't see no more, right? So she had one of those. And while she was going to work, I would take it apart, right? Pull up, look at the chip, try to figure out what it was and trying to figure out how it works, signal processing and all that. And then by the time she got back, I tried to put it all back together, right? So I won't have to worry about it. And I never really messed up and she never really knew that I was doing that. Right. But that's what I was doing because she had a computer, because she had her own businesses. She was doing payroll on her computer. So she had a computer, right? So I had that time to be able to tinker with the computer, and I found something that I was passionate about, right? So I just remember that opportunity, and then I was like, all right, maybe I should do something with computers, right? Cybersecurity wasn't a degree offering when I was going to ODU. So I went the computer science and computer engineering route just because I like that whole tinkering thing, trying to figure out how things works, and that's really a good basis in computer engineering. So that's the route I went, right? By working, right, I learned that cybersecurity was actually cooler because I'm not the person who likes to code all day. I'll write a script real quick to make my life easier, but don't give me a job in which you say, hey, code this piece of software. I'm just gonna be like, all right. And I'll get on Indeed.com and start looking for another job. You see what
I like it.
So I'm not a coding all day type of person, right? I'm more of let me just write a Python script really quick, just so I can do something fast. So I reached that cybersecurity route. I like securing things. I used to work when I started the next step in my career. I started working in a security operations center, right? 24/7, 365. I worked Tuesday to Sunday, 3 to 11:30 p.m. Right. I was, one of the people I starting off at the bottom, I guess I can say, call centers type things are really the bottom if you think about it in IT, right? So I started off at the bottom in cyber, and now I'm here I work for my company. I'm a cyber architect. So right now I design and build different security operations centers for customers. And I also just recently, I guess I can make the announcement on your show, I just accepted a position with my company as a manager of software development.
Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking
Congrats.
about. Exclusive right here on Devs Like Us.
Devs Like Us, right? I just accepted a position as the manager of software development for my company, and I'll be relocating, right? Another thing that no one knows, from Los Angeles to Huntsville, Alabama, to support support that opportunity, right?
Nice.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That is huge.
It's
So I guess
a big move.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Won't the temperature be a lot drastic from where you are now and where you're going?
Yeah, it will be, but I'm, from Virginia, right? It's back on the East Coast. I finally have seasons, right? I don't have to worry about air quality, right? Some weekends here, they were like, don't go outside, it's bad. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to breathe. Like,
so y'all been wearing masks before mask was a thing, right?
Exactly. We had masks. Y'all just got used to the masks. We've been wearing masks over here on the West Coast. But yeah, that's how it is.
Nice.
A lot of people are leaving LA. A lot of people are leaving Cali for that same reason, though.
Yeah.
About to get some acres, though.
Yeah. Cost of living is crazy different in Alabama. So that's another incentive why I wanted to go. I've never been to the state of Alabama in my life. So I was like, why not?
Something new.
Yeah, something new.
Was it kind of like a little, were you hesitant at any about it?
Yeah, I was very hesitant because, like, Alabama, I was like, you know what I mean? Like,
pace is going to be a lot slower.
Things are going to be a lot slower, and then, like, we're in a time now where race is very important, right? So I didn't want to put myself in a space where I will have to, not saying that it's down south. Like, let's be honest. I didn't want to be in a place where it's exactly like it's easier for someone else to move, like who don't look like us, to move to new places. But we have to be a little bit cognizant of where we are, right? As young Black professionals, we have to be aware of our surroundings at all times, right? So that's more of what I was worried about, right? Going to Alabama. Can't catch me there, right?
Yeah. Did you Google where you were going to be staying to see how close everything was?
Exactly. So I checked. It's Huntsville, so it's a little bit more mainstream. It's not like the deep South. You can compare it to like a Charlotte, North Carolina. It's a little bit more. They're trying to be up and coming, right? Not saying it's like Atlanta, but they're trying to get there, right? So they're very progressive and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why I said yes. So tell me, say Raven go anywhere a little deeper south in Alabama, probably not. But if you look at the map, it's right there on the top, which gave me a little bit of comfort.
Is Huntsville where all the Black engineers are? There's some place down there where it's like the largest number of Black engineers. I think.
Yeah.
Because Huntsville, they have the reality show there with the Black. They're not engineers. They're
and then it's I think it's also where a bunch where the most
where's NASA somewhere?
PhDs are located, co-located within.
Nice. I'm even more comfortable.
Way to get connected.
I just found that out like a couple weeks ago.
Maybe one of our listeners is down there and they can maybe drop some pointers or some hints, to kind of help you out.
That's what I need.
So I do have a question. So, with that kind of transition, your first transition was out to the West Coast. Is it as really like hectic and I guess like tech savvy as, we hear? Do you feel it's like a super competitive market where it's just like I know I heard housing out there is crazy where it gets snatched up super fast? Are opportunities kind of the same way?
To be honest, not really. You think about everyone goes out to LA to be a movie star, right? You go out there to be an actor or an actress, right? It's a lot of the entertainment market is highly saturated. If you have specialized skills like cybersecurity, coding and stuff like that, you're pretty much can go to any job. Like, you have all the big ones, Google's out here, Apple's out here, right? So you have a lot of opportunities to just really go from, if you want to do public sector or if you want to do defense contracting, it's all out here. You got plenty of options, right?
Okay.
But I wouldn't say it's like everyone's out here trying to do tech. I think everyone's out here trying to get on a commercial or trying to, be a movie star.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So you're telling us if we came out there, we would see you on a billboard?
All right, I got the fact for you all too. So Huntsville has nearly 20,000 of its residents are holding engineering degrees in Huntsville.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
This was 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as nobody moved up until now, you should be good.
Right when I get there, all 20,000.
They're like, you didn't get the memo? You didn't get
we
the
going
memo?
to Atlanta. What you doing?
So
sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off. I was searching for that fact. I was like, I didn't get it wrong.
So do you think I guess like doing a comparison between workforce and school and kind of like how you've been climbing and all of your success, did school 100% prepare you for that? Did it give you like that foundation that you needed? Do you feel like after you finished it was like you have to relearn everything, like up until where you are a point in your career, how much of that helped?
It was a nice foundation, right? It was a good introductory, right, to have school, right, and to have that bachelor's degree. But once you get on the job, most of the stuff you learn, you know what I mean? Yeah, like they don't teach you DevSecOps in school. They don't teach you Agile in school, right? So, no, right? I mean, it's great. I think school gave me a great foundation to start. But if all I had was the bachelor's degree and no other certifications or no other experience, I will still be in that level 1 position, right?
Right.
I wouldn't have, growth in the company that I've experienced so far. So one thing I've learned, like how to balance, school, like college versus certifications, is kind of what I'm currently battling, right? Because I have my CISSP, right? Which is kind of like the the top dog in cyber, right? And then I'm also getting my PhD in cyber in defensive cyber operations, right? So I'm like, do I need to where's the balance, right? So that's something I'm still trying to figure out. I think certifications are great. I think like school, like university type school, pushes your career. So that's how you get from level 1 to level 2, right? Like I got the extra degree. Can you not get my promotion now, right? That's how it's really the paperwork part of advancing in your career, not really, hey, I have this type of experience, right? That advances you in your career. It's really like the paperwork type thing, right? I got my master's, I got my PhD, I qualify at minimum a level 4 position, right? Because I put in the work, I have a PhD. At minimum, you will pay me at the level 4, right? Certifications, I think, is better for if I didn't go to school at all. Yeah.
You get into what I like. I want to kind of get, if you don't mind, I think this might be off script, but when you're looking at, basically, making sure you're getting paid what you're worth, like, hey, I'm this level, make sure I'm there. Do you have, you don't have to necessarily share your personal experience, but do you have any tips for people who feel like they're underpaid? Clarence says leave, which is a good. I mean, that's always an option.
Hey, Raven knows she's on that game too.
I was on that game at first. Now I'm more like knowing what your number is, right? So if you know how much, like, be honest with yourself. If you know you've never done that job before, be honest. You know what I mean? I think it's really all about knowing your role, right? Knowing your number, right? So for me, I said it when I look, I do, you do your salary analysis, right? You look at, what are the people making in that area at this level, right? But it's really all about knowing what you want, right? and then having that number in your head. So when they ask you, so how much are you thinking? What's your ballpark? That's a canned question which they're trying to get you on, right?
Right.
So it's like, our normal answer is, well, I want to be paid against my number of years and experience for the role. We never really say an answer, right? But
it's a hard question to answer.
It's a hard question to answer, right? Because we really want to say, well, how much you gonna offer me first, and then we can go from there. That's really how you want to go, but it's really all about knowing your number, knowing how much you're worth. How much is your time doing this task worth, right? And what I've noticed, right, for offering different salaries and stuff like that, especially when I came out to LA, is that they'll give you the minimum, right? Yeah, and to you, like, let's say you go into from a different company, to you, like, if you had a lesser job, it might seem like the maximum, right? But to them, it's the minimum, and it's just because you don't know your number, right? I had just give you a real life example. For the company I'm at, to move out here, they were like, oh, let's just throw out a, regular ballpark figure, right? Figuratively, let's say to move out to LA, they was going to offer me, I don't know, $50,000 a year, right? I was like, that ain't enough.
Right. That doesn't even cover the food.
Exactly. So I countered them with another offer and was like, in order for me to pick up all of my stuff and move out to California, right, you're going to have to give me double that. You're going to have to give me $100,000, right? And they said, okay. What if I would have said yes on 50?
Right.
I would have had 50 and would have been struggling out here. You know what I mean? There's no reason why, like real life, that I countered so high, right? Over $40,000-$50,000. And he's a huge pay gap, right? But if I said a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? All they can say is no, like, okay, no, that's too much. We can meet you here, but have your number. Like, I had my number. I'm like, no, rent is high in LA. Gas is high in LA. I need at least this to be able to not live in the hood, right?
Or sleep at your desk.
Right. I mean, something. I'm gonna need something. So I think it's all about knowing your number, and then also putting that work in, having those, those degrees matter. I think having those certifications matter. So it's matching up. So have your number ready.
Have you noticed too that, like, or I guess, like, have you taken a look at it? Because I know one thing, like, I learned over the years, especially while jumping, is that, like, you hear that one number, but, like, you also consider, like, the overall package, like, does that package come with, like, bonuses, company incentives where it might be, like, shared profit, that kind of thing. Like, is that something you've kind of picked up on too, through your journey?
Yes, I do pick up on that, right? But I feel like benefits and employee packages, that's just to get me to stay at your company, not for me to leave my current company, right?
Right.
So I mean, I consider it, but it's like, education assistance and all that is standard. I wouldn't have applied if you didn't have these type of benefits, right? So it's like, even though those are great company incentives, those don't. I want my money too, right? Like, if you think about it, like, as a whole, as an organization, right? We're applying to big companies, and they all get tax credits, right, for having a diverse workforce. Let's be honest, they do. They get a tax credit for having. Yes. They get tax credits for having, people of all origins, all nationalities, all skin colors, all female males. They get a credit for having a diverse workforce. So really, you don't have to pay me, because I'm doing you a favor by saying I'm checking that African American box. I'm checking that female box.
I'm taking notes. I'm gonna stop checking others. Stop checking others.
I need a piece of that pie, right?
Yeah, I need a piece of that pie to me.
I feel that. Yeah. I totally feel that.
So, Raven, you kind of touched on it, but I just want to kind of get a definitive answer. So, like a episode ago, we were talking about, 2 episodes ago, we were talking about formal education versus, like, the self-taught boot camp learners. And so for you, I know that you went, through the whole ladder, but for someone who's, like, at home, just a coder, Like they're just like, I just want to code. Do you feel as though that formal education is needed, or they can kind of take that route?
No, if you just want to code, I don't think you need to go to 4-year school.
Right.
Like, it's all about knowing what you want to do, right? If you really see yourself in that technical role all your life, I wouldn't waste no time. Don't. Why? That's a waste of money to me, because you already know how to code. You don't need to go to a 4-year university to know C++. Go get
like 3 classes, if that, 3 or 4 classes.
Right, exactly. I don't think you need it. I think that formal education route is for the person who sees themselves within that C-level suite, like me. Like, I would want to be a VP. I want to be the president of the company. I want to run it. I want it to be mine.
Oh, right? Hit the bell.
So I want that company. I want the company to be mine. You know, so that's why I'm going to educate. That's why I'm getting the bachelor's, the master's, the PhD, because at some point it's going to be like, oh well, she's qualified. You see what I'm saying?
She is preaching.
That word was good. So, like, saying, oh yeah, she's qualified. Have you ever been hit with the overqualified with all the education? Because I know I've ran into that, and I know others have ran into that sometimes. Have you ever been hit with the overqualified? And it could be like true for like certain positions, but I know a lot of companies feel as though, oh, we have to pay you this X amount because you have all this education, and then they're like, oh, you're overqualified.
Yeah, I have been hit with the overqualified, but I still don't necessarily get it, right? If I felt like I was overqualified for it, or if it was a task that I did not want to do, I wouldn't have applied. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I get the whole overqualified thing. Like, I probably do have too much experience to do this task, or too much degrees to whatever, whatever. I might have too much of whatever to do this task, but it's something I want to do. Right. Like, I just applied to your rec. I'm obviously interested. So for you to say I'm overqualified, it's like, well, I want to do the work. Right. You see what I'm saying? I just don't get it. But yes, I have been hit by that, and I still don't understand.
So I got a counter question against that. Yeah. Well, not really against that, but just I guess like additional. So like,
trying to debate, Clarence?
No, not even. No debates tonight. I'm just trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep the peace. But so like as Terrence mentioned, overqualified. But like, do you feel like so? First off, I should say I apologize because I did a terrible intro. I left out all of the creds that you dropped. I'm glad that you definitely put those out there. But do you feel like with what you have now, are there positions that still make you feel like you're underqualified?
Yeah, like any type of business management type, managing cost and schedule, right? I'm not good on the numbers yet. Like, and I know that about myself, right? I've been very heavy on the technical. Like, I know how to code. I know how to do all of that, right? I know how to make a tool work. I know how to make some work, stand up a server, whatever. I know how to do it. Cost schedule, I don't care. Like, that means nothing to a technologist if you think about it. Like, okay, we're late or we're overrunning the budget. Okay, I'm still gonna code. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still gonna do my job. Yeah. You still about this product regardless. Okay. like that means nothing. So that's something I'm very light on. And with this new role, I'll get the opportunity to manage a budget. I have my own team. We'll be producing a software product, and I'll get the step back, Raven. I don't need you on the keyboard this time. I need you to manage the schedule. I need you to make sure these developers are producing a product at each and every sprint. So that's what I'm trying to do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess when you finish school and you've gone through, different parts of your career, different roles, different places, did you expect to see yourself where you are now this fast, or did you think that it would have took longer?
Oh no. Ask me. I remember when I was at ODU, my sister's friend came down. She was actually in the PhD program at ODU, and she asked me, she was staying in my dorm, and she asked me, Raven, what do you want to do? I was like, I'm just trying to get out of college. Like, school is hard. I was like, I'm just trying to graduate. I'll work at this company in Newport News that was in the area, right, that I was already working at. I was like, I'm just going to stay in the 757, work at that local company, and that's going to be it. She was like, that's not enough. you'll do more. I'm like, girl, you'd be lucky if I walk across the stage. You know what I mean?
Like you're asking for a lot here.
You're asking for a lot. You see these classes? like not that. I don't know. But I seen your ODU was tough to me, and I was just really just grateful just to walk across the stage with a passing GPA average, so I can get the heck out of there.
Right. I actually feel like grad school, at least for me, grad school was easier than undergrad. But maybe I just had too much going on in undergrad.
Yeah, I think that too. Because like if you think of grad school, it's specialized. Like undergrad, you doing all this stuff, you don't even care about English. Like they make you take the gen ed, and it's like I don't care about writing. I don't really care about none of that. But they want to make sure you have that basis. Right. And it's like, you know, graduate degrees, you don't do none of that. You're really specialized on what you want to do. So that's why you kind of think it's easier because it's actually the things you enjoy.
For sure.
Yeah.
So with that story that you just gave us, like, you know, looking back on, you know, how you thought back then, your senior year to where you are now, like, how do you feel about that mindset change? Like,
yeah,
it was
do you look back and be like, tell yourself, your past self, like, girl, you just don't know what you got going on.
Right.
No, yes. So, but yeah, I definitely look back and like think about all the things in my life, all the opportunities, and even the opportunities that close, right? Even the doors closing was a blessing, right? And I had to think, as I think back, like, dang, I was like probably upset I didn't get that job, but I'm glad I didn't get that job. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you really look back, it was really all about taking risks, right? When I left my first company in Newport News, I moved to Maryland for another company, another opportunity. But it was a promotion, but not really, because the cost of living was higher in Maryland than it was in the 757. But if you really round it out, I was making just about the same. Right. Because the cost of living was so crazy up there. So yes, it was a leap in knowing that, hey, I wasn't really going to be making a lot more money, but this job is actually what I want to do. Okay. Right. So that was my first leap, right? Moving to Maryland. Right. And then my second leap was, I actually went from Maryland to Virginia for a little bit. I had another opportunity. And then that opportunity in Virginia, the contract got cut. I mean, randomly. Like I came in one day and everybody's like, oh my God. Like everyone, like their employees are like upset, crying. I was like, what is wrong? What is y'all doing? Like I come in with my coffee, like, what is going on? And like the contract.
I told this exact story last week. They thought I was playing. It's so funny that you say that, because I literally just said the same exact story. Coffee in hand. It's not a travel mug. It's a real mug. Like your coffee will get.
I was at the Keurig, like, what is going on?
That bell is, you just don't know the bell is going off in my head, but you go ahead, Raven, go ahead.
But like, I had my Keurig and was like, what is going on? Why are people at their desk crying? Like, so manager comes out, he's like, yo, everyone, we're gonna have an all hands meeting in the conference room in about 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do my thing, right? We go in there, he's like, so the contract is over. You have about 14 days to find a job. I'm like, what? Mind you, I had just accepted the position maybe 2 months ago, right?
Oh, wow.
And when they cut the contract, I was like, well, y'all should have told me this. I wouldn't have left my job. You know what I mean? So they cut the contract. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I just quit my job. I'm now here. Now you're saying I have 2 weeks to find another job. And it was like, I went home that day and I was so upset and I did not understand why would this happen to me, right? I'm up here in Maryland, right? At the time, I'm like, it was actually a job that made more money. So now it's like my check isn't so tight where it's like, you know what I mean? Right. Now I'm a little bit comfortable, but now it's like, dang, am I really comfortable if I got to find a whole nother job in 2 weeks? So I was just like, did not understand what was going on. And I came home, I was upset, I was sad. But I got a call from a director 2 levels up from my manager at the time. He was like, "Hey, is this Raven?" I said, "Yeah." Like never, I didn't know what the number was. He called my cell phone. He was like, "Is this Raven?" "Yeah, this Raven for this." Like that, right? I was real short. He was like, "Yeah, this is X, Y, and Z from, company name here, right?" He was like, "I just want to personally give you a phone call and thank you for your commitment to the company. I heard about your work. Come see me Monday morning. I'm gonna have a job for you."
Nice.
Oh, 2 levels. Was that 2 levels up? That's 2 levels up.
That was 2 levels up. Like, and it's like, it was like,
speaking for itself.
Right. So it was like, I had only been at the job 2 months, but the 2 months of work I had put in obviously was something because someone thought highly of me to bring me up to, that level of business management. Right. So I ended up meeting with him and he's like, "Yeah, I know what's going on with that program. I just want to make sure you know that you have a job working for me. I want to make sure you have a job working for me. Just all you have to do is go pick out your cube, and you can you can work for me basically." So I was like, "Okay, so what am I going to be doing?" He was like, "Well, I don't know. What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to work." I want to work capture management. I want to work proposals. I want to be in front of the customer. I want to do, X, Y, and Z. He said, "Okay." And I'm like, "What in the world is going on?" So
your world just flipped over and now it came back around.
Exactly. So I go back in there Monday. He was like, "Yeah, Raven, I was thinking about a little bit more about what you were saying and what your goals were for your career. And I think I want to have you lead this opportunity, right?" And there was an opportunity in which I didn't feel comfortable with. Like it was a lot of stand up and talking. And that was during the time where I was just used to sitting at the keyboard and coding, right? You know what I mean? So it's like bringing someone from up behind the desk in front of somebody is a little bit, I was scared at the time, right?
Right.
So he was like, "No, I kind of want you to do this, lead this, and I want you to, be, lead this opportunity for my division," right? And I'm like, "Okay," right? I didn't necessarily want to do it because it was too far off of, I wasn't being technical anymore, if that makes sense, right? So I was no longer hands-on keyboards. I was doing a little bit more customer-facing opportunities, and I just wasn't really comfortable with that. But that opportunity really set me for the opportunities I have in the future. So from that opportunity, I got my opportunity to come out here to LA. And with my opportunity in LA, it was more technical, right? It was more software development, defining an architecture, defining, what pieces go where, right? And sorry, my dog.
Sorry. It was like it kept getting like louder and closer. I was like, is somebody gonna pop up from there?
But basically, it was more, designing an architecture, designing interfaces to different systems, which is, that's great. I love doing that type of stuff. And then it kind of led me to now that I'm the manager of that subsystem that I was just building. So it's really coming full circle.
Nice. I think you brought up a really good point though. I don't know if we've really covered that. Is that so? Like the gentleman that you spoke with, or you had never met them.
Right, never met them.
And so, like one thing that's super important to learn from that is that like your work speaks for you sometimes before you even come into a room.
Exactly. And it was just, you never really know who's watching either, right? So to me, I thought I was just doing my task, right? And it's really like someone was watching me do work and who was high enough to say, "Hey, actually, Raven is doing the best job. If it's anyone you want to save from the program, you need to go call Raven."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's, and I had no idea. When I actually went to go meet him that Monday to actually, have that one-on-one conversation with him, he was actually riding in the elevator with me, and I had no idea. So we saw each other. We were like, "Oh, you know that?" I said, "Yeah."
It's a good thing you were like, "I'm meeting this jerk that will just call me randomly."
Gotta read those company emails. Gotta see them pictures.
Exactly. So come to find out, it was him. So it was perfect.
Was this before LinkedIn? Because I was gonna say you could look them up on LinkedIn to get that picture just to make sure.
See, I don't even know if I was into LinkedIn at that point. I don't know, to be honest.
I got you.
I do have a follow-up question. So Raven, when you mentioned like getting your hands off keyboard, how sweet does the deal have to be for you to get hands off keyboard? Like, and because from a developer standpoint, like from my experience as a developer, the best developers don't code anymore. They manage the teams. Like I always tell people, like, and it's not all companies. If you're on a small, like, depending on the makeup of the team, you could potentially code all your life. But like from larger organizations, if you're really good at development and like have any form of people skills, we're talking like low bar for people skills. Like if you
like,
if you can,
if you're totally sweating when you're in front of the person,
right? Like you're
at least make sure it's not noticeable,
right? So how do you are you like? Have you kind of accepted the fact that the better you get and more experience you get, you're not going to be, I guess from a security standpoint, like working hands on the tool as much and like you're going to be like doing the higher level things? In my opinion, I like it because like that 14 days, you would have known that beforehand if you're in that right spot. Because there's some people in that room that knew. They weren't telling us. Like,
exactly. Y'all could have told me.
So like on one end of it, I like knowing what's going on, and you have to be in those special meetings. You can't be hands on keyboard to know like those things are going on. So like, have you kind of like accepted the fact that you might not always be like hands-on practitioner like every like day to day, or are you still trying to kind of like hold on to that?
I'm slowly learning to let it go. This will be my first role when I'll be 100% like, Raven, don't touch nothing. And it's like, even right now, even though I haven't formally accepted the role, I am working with my team now. And it's like, okay, I'll do this Jira task, or, you know what I mean? I'll do this task here. And it's like, my lead or my director above me is like, you're not supposed to be doing no work. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, stop doing work. Like, he really has to tell me, you need to manage the progress, right, of what's going on. I'm like, okay, but I know how to do it faster. Like, you know what I mean? Right. So it is hard. It is a constant challenge, but I see myself like I think it's all about where you see yourself, right? If you see yourself in a leadership type role, it's time to be a leader, right? If you see yourself as the best software developer in this time, be okay with being on the keyboard the whole time and not really knowing what's going on higher up, because honestly, you really probably don't even care, right?
Yeah.
But I saw myself as a leader. I see myself as a leader, so I know that I will have to take that step back, stop being so close to the keyboard, right? But with that,
sorry.
They're trying to get some face time. They want to get in the screen.
Exactly. But with that, even though I think because I have that background experience in knowing and being technical, I know when something is going wrong, and I know when someone, like one of my employees, like, that's not right. That don't sound right. Like, I did that before. That don't even sound. You're not gonna gas me on this because I've done the work before, so you can't just say make something up to me.
Right.
You see, and I think you can totally tell a leader who has never done the work before, because they be making promises that's like, yeah, we can get that done by tomorrow, and it's like
the timeline be all off.
Story of our lives. I'm pretty sure all the devs that are watching this are like, Screech, you telling the truth. I'm still on that deadline. It's due tonight. I'm working on it.
They're probably like, I'm still working on
I'm gonna say, like, the leads will get freaked out, and it's like, hey, you completed that task yet? And it's like, you gave me this impossible deadline, and now I'm stressed out. You're stressed out. Like, everybody in this room is stressed out, and it just doesn't. It's not a great work environment at all.
It's not.
And it's just like, yeah, that should be fairly easy. They can do that. And it's like, no, that's gonna take us like a week to complete. Like,
exactly. That's gonna take about 2-3 sprints. Like, no.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not supposed to be hands on keyboard anymore, but I still set my time, like my hour, 2 hours here, there throughout the week, because you never know when you got to go back into that. Like, if you go to another company and it's big enough to where, no, you can be hands on keyboard and still be high up, because some companies can do that, and then like it all depends on the makeup. So I don't know. I don't, and you work so hard for those skills. Like, you still wanna like do what you've been working on all these years.
Yeah. But because you have that experience, it's like you did it. Like, good job. Now take a step back.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's even rewarding now if you think about it as a leader.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I put in my time, I put in my work, I mastered this craft. Now it's like I can sit back and just watch them take care of it, and I handle the big stuff. You know, it's kind of rewarding if you think about
That
it.
is true. That is a good way of looking at it.
From that tree that you've been watering for so long.
Come on, country boy.
Now you can tell them folks, hey, what you might not want to do is go make that fresh coffee. We got a hands-on meeting coming up.
Exactly.
Comfortable.
Exactly.
So I guess that's been a lot of good gems so far. But one other thing that I know we definitely want to highlight is so one thing we didn't mention at the beginning of the episode is that you have your own company, Sims Designs. Is that correct?
Yeah, Sims Designs.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, bring the hat. Yeah, bring the hat.
Got the merch.
Got the merch.
How was it started at, and like what's kind of your story of why you started?
Yeah, so you already know my line of work, right? So it's very mission based, right? I really didn't have the opportunity to do like fun stuff. Didn't have the opportunity to be creative in my work because most of my stuff was for a customer, and the customer like gives you a set of requirements, and it's like, no, I don't want nothing else. I want these things, and it's like, well, I can do this, and it's like, no, we have cost, we have scope. I want to just do this, and starting my own company, right, allowed me to be creative, right, for other customers and other people, right, that's unrelated to like the cyber stuff I do, right, like web design, graphic design. I could go in and pull up Adobe, create a logo. I can't do that at work, right?
Right.
And I think I felt like I was missing that release, right? Having that, doing creative, doing freelance stuff for people, doing graphic design, pulling up my iPad and drawing something out. That was like, therapy to me, right? So I love coming home from a stressful day and someone says like, Raven, I need a logo. It's like, oh, perfect. Like, that's not even work to me. That's me having fun. That's more therapeutic. I was able to de-stress just by opening this business, and now I get to charge people for it. So that's even better.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So
did you know that you always wanted to like own your own business, or is it just something that came to you? Since you said that, your senior year, you're just like, I'm just gonna hang out here.
I didn't know I was going to start my own business. I think I was involved with a nonprofit at the time that needed someone to manage their website, and a couple of friends of mine started a nonprofit in Richmond, Virginia that's dedicated to feeding the homeless and giving them their all the resources they need to have a better life, right? So because of that opportunity in which I was involved with a group of my friends when we started that nonprofit, they needed a website. So I was like, oh, I got it. I can do that in no time, right? And then I got like more people like, oh, can you make mine? Oh, can you do a logo? So from that, it was like, okay, maybe I have something here. Maybe I can do something. It started with, just a couple of friends saying, hey, Raven, I have this opportunity, or I have this idea. Can you make a logo? To like, now it's like my portfolio is expanding. Now I can do, like clothing materials like this, embroidery. I can do stickers. I can do hats, shirts, whatever. I can make it for you. And it just kind of expanded like that. Now this, as people asking for new things, I'm just letting it grow. I'm really just seeing where it goes. I don't really have any in-depth goals for the company, but I just want to see where it takes me. So,
yeah,
okay,
that's what happened.
Okay,
it's gotta be a good feeling.
Okay,
yeah.
It's funny because we just talked about freelance last week. We actually had this full-on debate about freelance, and it got really heated. And so, like, kind of hearing how you mentioned how you mentioned that, that was kind of your escape. That's like total opposite of what we were like debating on last week. So I think that's it's stressful.
Their debate was flexibility.
We were good. we were good until Clarence said that being 100% freelancer was similar to a 9 to 5, and I said, no, it's not. You gotta get that money, man. It's like the opposite of 9 to 5.
That makes no sense.
I said that's not what entrepreneurs don't do 9 to 5. They do 24/7.
Exactly. Yeah, if you was fully dedicated to freelance, yeah, I'll probably, will be doing it all day, every day, because now that's your lifestyle. Now I'm depending on that for my livelihood. So yes, I'll hang up right now and start doing something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. It's like, all right, guys, that was a good hour. I'm good to go now. I gotta go.
It's like that's as long as the break
9 to 5, and we went off.
Yeah, that just threw us completely off.
But I guess
but
oh, go ahead, JP. Sorry.
Really quickly, since you brought it up of if you thought about going freelancing full time, it would be like your 24/7 thing. But for other people, would you recommend taking that risk, taking that big leap of just going freelancing 100%, or do you think so? Like one of Terrence's points from last week was building up your cash flow or whatever, that saving, so that you have that to fall back on before you take that huge leap of I'm just going to do this 100% type thing.
Yeah, it depends, right? For me, Sims Designs is one of my passions, right?
Okay.
I think I love cyber, and then I also like freelance designs, but I think cybersecurity and the things I'm doing now, like that makes me drool. Like that gets me up every day, right?
Right.
Being creative, being a freelance designer, that's just an outlet, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But if you were a freelancer in which that was your passion, this is what I want to do. I wake up and I can't wait to do this. I'm actually going to work every day. It's boring. I'm upset. I'm not happy here. Then you need to be a freelancer. Right. So I definitely 100% wholeheartedly believe in taking leaps of faith and taking risks and doing things that you feel like are designed and destined for you, right? Because that's where you see all these doors start opening. Like if you think about it, like when you do things that you're not supposed to be doing, that's when like stuff don't work out. Like you be thinking like, gosh, why can't I get this job? And it's like, well, because you didn't apply for the job that was designed for you. Like, you see what I'm saying? You're applying for the jobs that you really don't like being, an admin assistant. You really don't like being that. Why you keep applying for that role when you hate going to work every day doing that? Right. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of see, I wholeheartedly believe, focus on what your purpose is. Focus on what you feel like drives you. Because you'll see way many more doors open for you than you doing something that you hate, right? I honestly believe, we're not put on this earth to be miserable. We're put on this earth to serve a purpose. And when you're serving your purpose, and when you're serving your purpose, like everything will seem seamless.
See, Clarence, that's all you had to say. You would have won a debate, but you didn't say that, Clarence.
I don't even think I got a chance to get many words out. And when I did, I was so
Raven. I said, how you gonna pay for your health insurance? I said, how about your 401k, your health insurance? How about when you get sued? You gotta get your contracts right.
Maybe think about it. Think about all the entrepreneurs, right?
Look at
the CEO of Amazon. Look at the Facebook, Mark. Like, what 401k was they thinking about when they was really in there grinding it out?
I knew that. Clarence didn't say it. Yeah,
you know what was funny? So I was like, last week we were going to have the episode on freelance because I knew we were going to have you this week. And I was like, I know Raven's going to come in here. She's going to come talk about most of the stuff I tried to say. And it was just going to be like, we needed you last week. So it could have been like 2-on-2, not just 2-on-1.
Exactly. Somebody to be a regular guest.
Yeah, you kind of threw us off. I mean, your point, if you were really agreeing with what Raven just said, then you just didn't say it right. That's
Clarence said nothing. Clarence said 9 to 5, then we went off, and Clarence he was like, all right.
I didn't know what else to say. I felt like every word that I was gonna say was gonna be targeted, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna play it safe here.
You know what? Never mind. I think having the 401k might be a better option.
I said, who gonna match your 401k? They ain't matching nothing.
You put stuff in.
Clarence said, you can just wake up when you want to. I said, not if you got to write your own check.
Exactly.
Nah, but I definitely think that's definitely the goal for sure. I definitely believe in it. I do believe in it, Clarence.
I got you. So I guess I know, Raven, you mentioned that, you kind of are like, this is your outlet to just kind of, release, your day to day. But I guess my question is, do you see it being something that you do? Well, I guess I know Jasmine mentioned it being full time, but I guess like the part of my question I really want to get to is like, how competitive is that market? So, like I know you mentioned, like you said, this is kind of just something you like to do, on the side, but like, is it a super competitive market? And like, how do you, battle or weather that?
Yeah, I think it's very competitive. Like, if you want to talk about competition, freelance, everybody's a freelance designer, right?
Doing it for free online. Some of them do it for free just to kind of get a
portfolio. What's that new website now?
Upwork.
Upwork. It's multiple websites where you can go find it. Somebody say, "Hey, I'll design your logo for $5. Please."
Right.
Please. You know what I mean? The competition is crazy. The competition is crazy, but I think how I set myself apart is by offering end-to-end solutions from people, right? So I walk you all the way through your brand development, from creating your logo to your website to now create your merch. Like, let's do the whole thing. Let's get you set up right. Right. And I think that's kind of where I, separate myself. Like some freelancers only do like tips and pieces of it. And it's like, no, I do the whole thing. Whatever you need, I got it. I can help you with your marketing strategy, your brand management, developing your brand. We got it here at Simpson Designs.
Right.
We got a website or IG. You gotta say it. You gotta get it out there.
Yes. Okay. IG _Sims Designs, website www.ravensims.com. Twitter, same thing, _Sims Designs.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll put it up in the show notes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I do. You got a question, JB? I thought you were about to point one more question. No. So I do have another question about like the freelance, and I guess like, so with your company, do you feel like you've passed that, I guess, level or stage that you've gone past because I know you, I need you to do something for me, to like the customers that you have no like, relationship or like never met before? Like, do you feel like you've reached to that point of your of the company? And if not, do you know how you're going to get there?
Yeah, so I think I just reached that point, right? At first, it was really all my friends, or like through one degree of separation, maybe like maybe not my friend, but my friend aunt. You know what I mean? Right, but like now, it's like I have no idea who you are. You don't live in the state of Virginia. You don't live, you know what I mean? It's not like you local to where I used to live, or local to Richmond, where I'm from. I'm getting opportunities and customers from all over now. Mostly. Of course, Virginia is a lot of my customers, but I got a customer in Atlanta. I have a customer in New York. No customers in California yet, but coming soon after this.
Soon to be Huntsville.
Like soon to be Huntsville, right? But yeah, I'm getting clients in which I have no idea who they are, right? Okay. Which is sometimes scary, because it's like I can easily meet my friend's expectation, right? Because I know how you think, I know what you want, I know. You know what I mean? But it's like, if someone else, like, name a name, right? Linda or whoever, who randomly sends me a DM on Instagram, I'm like, okay, sure, right? Which adds a level of complexity for me, because you kind of have to have a formalized process now. So now in Sips Designs, I have to establish a formalized process in which I get the information from my clients to be able to build them something beautiful, right? So now I'm finally at that stage where it's not someone I know, it's a brand new person who's really asking me for business advice. I really have a serious idea, which I'm trying to grow my brand. Can you help me? Can we get on the phone and talk? It's like, yes. And we have a formalized process now. So having that, like starting with my friends was good, but definitely branching out, it made Sims Designs go legit, right? It's no longer I do logos on the side. It's like Sims Designs, Raven Sims does logos. We do freelance web development, brand development. We do it all.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
Did y'all have any other questions?
Well, my last one is, at the beginning you talked about, getting your certs and things for, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very heavy on people getting their certs and, having those extra qualifications. So outside of that, how do you keep up with like the times of the technology changes as you?
Good question. Glad we didn't miss that one.
Yeah, I subscribe to podcasts. I on my way to work, I listen to CyberWire. Right, they talk about all the latest threats and vulnerabilities and different hacks and stuff that's going on. I listen to it on my way to work. I actually email subscriptions to different, different cyber places, right? I also do conferences, right? Black Hat and all that, where all the geeks get together and, do their thing. So I like to stay engaged like that. I also am a part of industry at work in which I present different cyber topics like zero trust or, name something, right? And it makes me go back and research it, right? So I know what's going on before I actually go and present it to, my colleagues, my peers. So that's how I stay up to date.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I feel like she hit on all of our different pieces that we've previously talked about.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The conferences, the tech talks, like
tech talks.
Yeah.
So I guess one thing I know you mentioned, I guess like kind of a follow up with that question. I know you mentioned, you listen to podcasts, you're a part of certain groups. Like, are groups big out in the West Coast where they do like, meetups and that kind of thing? Like, do you consider meetups or anything like that? Anything extra?
Yeah, I do meetups. I mean, pre-COVID, right? I did meetups.
Of course.
It was kind of big out here. It was more big in, Black Hat when everybody goes to Vegas, right? That's more the biggest one. I have never seen something that big before, but I think it didn't surprise me in how big it was. I think it was kind of average here in LA as far as, tech meetups, but the biggest one I've seen is going to Vegas, being a part of that Black Hat one. Yeah.
I got you. I guess I do. So I know I keep saying I have one more question, but like
I'm gonna cut you off, Clarence, because she's gonna start charging soon.
I know.
Free hours about your free time
about
to be up.
So one of my last questions, and I guess like for me, I've been on the East Coast my whole life, so like the West Coast. So one of our episodes we talked about like the dev life, and so we painted this picture of this dev who hops on his bike, ride, or I shouldn't say his, but his or her bike, and rides to the local coffee shop, get some coding in there with some buddies, they have breakfast, they get up, they go, and then they actually go into work at like 11 o'clock. Is the West Coast like that? Do you see devs just coding any and everywhere?
You do know this is in the same country, right?
Like,
this is like the same country.
It is.
No, it is the same world.
Country.
They are humans.
It's
I'm
like
geographically challenged. I'm sorry.
It's like that to a T. I wouldn't say they own a bike, right, Clarence? Right. Some people got cars, right?
Right. Yeah.
But like, I think it is. The West Coast is definitely a whole different work experience, right? So when I started my first day, I had a suit on, dress shoes, and I came in and everybody had on open T-shirts, jeans, ripped jeans, sneakers, and it was like, well. Yeah. Okay.
They're like here for an interview. Like,
exactly. Oh, hey, you must be new. And it's like, yeah, I must be, because no one, like, I came from the East Coast and everybody was really buttoned up, like, Monday through Friday. We're going to be spiffy or whatever. Developers too, right? We'll be spiffy, right? And the most lax I've seen on the East Coast was probably the developers in like the collared polo shirts and probably some jeans, right? But here in LA, it's like white tee, like, oh, you want to go to lunch? Oh, it's happy hour after that. You want to just stay longer? And it's like, y'all gonna go to work or?
I like
when does work start?
That's from like 12 to midnight.
Exactly. But like, I think it's a degree, right? It's like they know how to like relax, but then like when the deadline comes, it's like, oh, they in there.
Right.
They in there now. One huge difference is when I went to Australia for work. Australia, they start at noon. Like, you know what I mean? They don't believe in going to work a full day. Like here, we're like 8 hours. Like, and then it's like, even if it takes longer than 8 hours and we need to stay longer, we stay. Australia, they were like, okay, but it's not done. Okay, I'm out.
Our studies so the 8 hours is the factory life where you don't have to like you're repeating the same task. That's where it's coming from. I'm a proponent of not having to do the 8 hours. Sometimes you're not nobody's working for 8 hours. Even when you go to the office, there's so
Maybe
much
a
other
solid
stuff.
4.
But that's the study. They said 3 to 4. You have 3 to 4 actual hours where you're like everything else is just
you're just
fluff.
there.
Yeah, I saw a study where it was like people on average do about like 40% of their workday is them actually doing work. I was just like, dang, that's pretty low. Like,
but it sounds about right.
Like, we need to make some changes.
No, seriously. If
like
you think about
like little 3-hour blocks.
If you think about your 8-hour day, it's like, all right, the first hour of my day at 8 a.m. is me sitting at my desk trying to get myself in the mindset, okay, I'm at work. Right. And then like I probably have my coffee and I'm trying to wake up the first hour. And then it's like
meetings.
You get lunch, right? And then it's like you getting up and talking to people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. 4 hours, that's all you need. Give me 4 hours. I'm good.
Right. I like it. So I know we've been hammering you with a lot of questions. So I do want to at least give you an opportunity if you had anything to ask us. If you don't, it's okay. We won't like, scold you, be like, oh, you can never come back.
Yes, I do want to ask y'all, what are y'all's backgrounds, and if you guys do anything additional on the side, like what is do you do software development? We just didn't go over that. It was all about me. Y'all was picking on me the whole time. Like, what you guys do.
We were picking your brain, so now we can at least say that we gotta pick up our game. Like, I don't even know if I want to say my spiel.
Say, I need to hear what everybody does. What are you passionate about? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, so for me on a professional end, I'm a software engineer. I'm now kind of in more of a developer advocate sort of position where I want to make sure the developers have what they need, and all my tools are really centered around. So like developers are using my tools. I guess it's a good summary of it. But still software engineer. Passionate about developer productivity, and I'm also passionate about DevOps process between managing systems that require high uptimes or no fail times, so that managing those systems where bridging the gap between operations and developing and making sure like removing that wall, no more throwing it over the wall to the operations team, making sure like we're managing that through the life cycle as well. So, and then this is my side passion. Devs Like Us is my outlet.
Nice.
Yeah. JB, you want to go next or you want to go last? You want me to save
I
for
can
last?
go next. No, I'll let you save the best for last. So
we're gonna start playing the music when Clarence goes.
Right. the tiny violin. So for me, I'm a software developer within a research lab. So it's all about me figuring out what people need and in my form or fashion, making the best tool possible. And if I can answer multiple questions with whatever tool that I bring to them, then that's how I'll do it. And it's partnering with a bunch of different developers in a bunch of different fields. So I'm like with engineers, physicists, mathematicians, all those. And so, that's basically what I do outside of work, Devs Like Us. And outside of that, I'm also a basketball official. So, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You can't say that no more, JB. You haven't done it for like 7 months.
She's reffing at the rec, when everybody's outside on the outside.
They don't even need me. I'm just like
whistle don't even work no more.
You blow dust come out. So I guess did you have anything extra? I didn't know if that was.
Nope, that's it.
Oh, that's it. That's it. So for me, I'm actually in your world, Raven. I'm in the cybersecurity world. I'm a software developer for a security team, mostly doing like integration type stuff, developing like tools that make it, make their lives a little bit easier. But I also kind of dabble with, a little bit more of the security stuff. So it's a huge world. I'm still trying to get a grasp on it. I'm actually hoping to get my Security Plus soon, and maybe one day I'll get one of those nice shiny certs like you got. It kind of just depends how things are going, but I'm still kind of like, grabbing the ropes and just like getting the understanding of how everything works. Because, for the longest time, I was not a big like I never liked cybersecurity. Like I thought it was a cool, it was a cool term, but we were in school. I felt like everybody was like cybersecurity, and I knew it was huge, but it was like I want to be different. I didn't want to kind of follow that path. And as like where we started, everybody was trying to get into cybersecurity. So it's like if you didn't find that way to get in that door, you're on the outside anyway. So you kind of just made it what it was.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then mostly on the side, devs like us is my side passion.
Nice. Okay.
Clarence, you're not escaping that easy. Now, what's your real side passion?
So
you've seen your other IG.
I guess so. My real side passion is the outdoors. I love the outdoors and everything outdoors. I'm a fisherman. I'm a hunter. I'm a country boy at heart. So I feel like you going to Alabama. Like if you have an opening, let me know. I'm coming to Alabama.
He's already invited himself.
Exactly.
You need help moving in?
Yeah, exactly. I got it. Put that box
down. This is a lot of land. I like it down here.
A whole lot of land.
But that's like my big side passion outside of the dev work. So that's my outlet.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I have a gift for you guys. Some designs recently dropped some hoodies, so I want to make sure I send them out to you three. So I'm gonna show them to you really quick.
This is a big time
first time.
So we dropped these Black Creatives hoodies, right? So I want to make sure you guys get one. So just go ahead, send me your sizes and what color. Black and maroon is what we got. I definitely want to thank you all for having me on the show. This is my first time on a podcast, so
thank you.
I want to show gratuity to you guys.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know. I feel like you just set like the standard for all guests now.
So high. Any guest after this, they don't come
like, are you gonna bring gifts?
We don't want
them. We don't want them. We're gonna add that to the guest form. So the next time, if you try to apply, you'll be like, "Oh, I gotta bring gifts to something."
Exactly.
Thank you, Raven. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Yes.
No problem.
Gonna close us out. Do y'all want me to go ahead and saddle this thing on home?
You the host, don't have
okay. So first off, again, thank you so much for your time, Raven. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really appreciate it. You dropped a lot of gems. We definitely think that it's going to be really beneficial to our community. We hope that that somebody could take something from your story and apply to theirs. Just greatness. That's like blessings on blessings. That's amazing. We love it. So we will have your info, down in our info link. So, everybody could go check out Sims Designs, hit her up for your for whatever your needs are. She says she's from start to finish shop. There's no halfway. Like she's gonna get you there. So, definitely check her out. But other than that, so for our community, thank you again for listening to our podcast. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and
ring that bell.
Ring that bell.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening.